Put that thing back in your pants before you poke someone's eye out on Stryker's Perspective. That's right. This is another Stryker's Perspective, and this is it's not Back to the Future the game. I reviewed that. That video came out quite a ways back, but now this is gas guzzlers, and you might be thinking, well, is it any fun? It's like, well, it's fun. It's car combat, but on computer, the big thing was having multiplayer races. And on Xbox One, the developer basically said, with the way Microsoft has their thing structured and the fact they can't do dedicated servers for whatever reason they can't do it, there's no multiplayer in the game. So yeah, it's a car combat game that was built with multiplayer in mind, but you can't play it, although there are a lot of modes in there, but you're just going to be blowing up AI bots. But yeah, so we're talking about GameStop and their whole Circle of Life thing today. I know, it's another one of those guys that plays a bunch of random video game footage in the background. I'm getting there. More on that toward the end of the episode, but let me do the intro thing, or the opener. So we were talking about what's the deal with Nintendo before, what's their problem. Now we're talking about what's the problem with GameStop, not GameSpot. That is different. But dear God, I wish they would change their name. But we were talking about Nintendo last time, remember? So yeah, I've just been disappointed with Nintendo. Sure, they hit it out of the park with the Wii. That was great. But Nintendo is not known for having a good relationship with third-party developers. I'm sorry. Reggie Fils-Aimé can do all the interviews he wants and say that we've got, 20 launch titles, 25. We've got 50 games in the pipe. We've got, 80 games in the pipe ready to come out. We've got 130 publishers signed on. I don't know about that fact. But every video game company ever does this. Even when it came to the Phantom, that digital-only console-like device that never actually came out, they would tout how many developers they had. So with Nintendo, I almost feel bad. I mean, it seems like with this new their new console / portable that they're listening to third parties, but they've been trying to do that for a very long time. If we get more than one substantial game a year, that'll be great. But this is what's wrong with GameStop. And really, I cut half my head off on that picture. It's just dumb. I gotta move it down. So yeah, I'm excited about Sniper Elite 4. Like literally, I'm about 5 hours away from playing the game. That's how fresh this video is. Of course, I gotta put out the Nintendo video first for you guys to even get this update that I just did to Nintendo. So this is probably gonna come out a little bit after that. But to give you an idea when I'm writing this, obviously I am writing this right when GameStop is in the news with their Circle of Life program. I'm just disappointed with Nintendo. Like I said, no online. You're not going to get a web browser. No Netflix. That's what Nintendo does. They take away all the frills. They try to focus on games, but ultimately they give you something that might not do. It does one thing, but it doesn't do it well enough to where it's always going to be in your lap, I guess. I don't know. We'll see with the new Switch. But yeah, so this is GameStop. GameStop has this program, Circle of Life. You guys have all heard about it. But what's their deal? What's their problem? Well, it's been really nice to be a part of the internet. That's my buddy down there. Can't wait for Sniper Elite 4. Seriously, going to have a lot of friggin' footage of that. A lot of top moments of the week, I'm guessing. Maybe possibly a lot of deaths. But, so yeah, they seem like they always shoot themselves in the foot, right? Well, we've had enough stories and whatnot from this company, come out on YouTube. That has been one of the greatest boons, of course, of the internet, is that, this whole GameStop hate is not coming from, hang on a sec. It is not coming out of nowhere. I mean, it really is because the customer feels like they get treated badly. And it's not an overreaction either because, ultimately the higher-ups really don't care that much about you as a customer. And we've heard countless number of, really, really good and dedicated people that love video games that try to work for this company, and they work themselves up. They get into a manager spot, they get a store, maybe they get put into a bad location, maybe they get a bad store in the first place, maybe they get someone that, I think I shot that guy through the door and into the balls, I'm not sure. They just get handed. Why is that truck fucking the other truck? I'm sorry. I know I try not to swear in these. These are more instructional. But yeah, so this is a mess. I know I'll have better footage. You can see how stilted this Sniper Elite 3 is. But I wanted to play it so bad. Me and a buddy were doing some rounds in this a little bit ago. But yeah, so we all know that the higher ups just absolutely, they rather lie to their customers to get them to pre-order a game. And when, good, heartfelt managers try to speak up, like, why should we do this? This isn't what this is representing. And, we've heard of the stories of those people basically getting ostracized, or, everybody that's on the live feed for, managers or whatnot. They're all like, well, we do things this way, and it's, they essentially don't care. They basically, say, who are you? This is what we do, and we've seen numbers of stories of those. You can look up, former GameStop employees and get a number of hits from a number of different people. And you know what? Some of the only videos some of those people actually do is from their experience at GameStop. They basically want you to know, as consumers, as customers, and as game lovers themselves, and yourselves, they want you to know that, GameStop, they push the pre-orders, and they push all these different things, and it's really heartbreaking. And ultimately, the reason why they do all this is quite clear, because, when digital sales weren't as big as they are now, GameStop. I almost said that they were GameSpot. Wouldn't my face be red? I get to see all the comments below. Like one dude, Stryker, you said the wrong GameStop. I mean GameSpot. I mean, did I say it right? I don't know. Yeah, maybe one guy would pick up on that. Yeah, that's the internet. But yeah, so that's just, they ultimately don't care about you, and they got so used to, for so long, having these bonuses for other managers, for district managers and whatnot, where, hey, if you push the pre-orders, we get more and more money. You just got to push those pre-orders, and if the people never come in to pick up their stuff, so what? It's an extra $5 that gets put back into GameStop's pocket, right? So they've been basically doing this for a very long time, and sales have been extremely strong and extremely high for quite a while. But now digital sales are, I've seen the numbers, and they're anywhere from like 12% to 16% per year is the difference of physical sales going down each year so far, for like the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years, as far as I could tell. So, ever since like 2010, 2012 or 13, every year digital sales have increased, of course, and the physical sales have gone down. Not as fast as some people thought. Some people thought it was going to be really, really fast and really, really big. But no, it's been about like a 13 to 16% drop every year. So instead of physical sales being at 60%, they've gone down to 50 and then 40. I'm sorry, maybe 13 to 16% is too much for that long. I'm saying more like the last 3 years. So, but that's still like a 30% drop, at least overall, in physical sales. So what's, and you got to remember that GameStop has been getting those people those kind of big, massive bonuses for so long. They got used to it, and now it's like, well, hey, we got to really, really push really hard in order to keep those bonuses for ourselves, and ultimately it's hurting everybody else. And yeah, I know I've been playing some more. Check out The Long Dark. That was the previous game. That looked really, really interesting. I'll probably have some more footage of that thrown in somewhere. I don't really have content for it, but I've been doing a lot more of The Division. Been getting my rank up. This is, I believe I'm probably like at a 224 at this point. I'm up to like 242. Trying to get up to 256 like everybody else in The Division. So I've been playing some stuff, getting some new weapons and all that. But yeah, so game. I'm sorry, most people don't talk about their footage behind them, but I like to let you guys know when I'm playing, right? Like you guys care. But that's the problem with GameStop, is the fact that those bosses, those higher ups, you know, they got to be there while they were making money hand over fist off of us, and now that digital sales are starting to eat into that some. They still want to have those high sales, but they're never going to come back. So they're doing things more dishonest. And ultimately, you know, like, I'm sorry, but GameStop as a company, as a corporation, doesn't care about the consumer. And unfortunately, you know, they've bought up the other guys. They bought up FuncoLand. You know, they bought up FuncoLand stores to begin with, right? I know, the segment is supposed to be done, but damn it, hear me out. They bought up FuncoLand. They bought up Electronics Boutique. They bought up Software, etc. As far as I remember, they took those stores and turned them into their own, and you know, all of their locations basically became a new GameStop. So they don't have any competition. What we need is a game store that ultimately doesn't mind. But you know what? It's really hard to create a physical brick and mortar game store that has inventory and whatnot nowadays. It's hard. You know, because GameStop is so well known, it makes it really hard, because you got to come out there with, you know, all this inventory, and you might not have it. But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on GameStop. You know, when they have a 2-for-1 sale, sure, I show up sometimes and I get a few games. Quite honestly, digital games are so cheap that I basically get them for the exact same price, and I'd rather have them in a digital format anyway. You know, I've bought like the previous XCOM games, you know, like Enemy Within and whatnot, you know, there for maybe around $5, thinking like, oh, this is a really great deal. And it was, don't get me wrong, but then, you know, lo and behold, I can basically get it for $5, you know, on a sale on Xbox Live, you know, and probably, you know, PlayStation 4, you know, you name it. So that's the bad thing. Well, I mean, that's the good thing, really, is, you know, I literally just killed all my friends. I knew every frickin' one of those. And the guy I burned, he was one of them, too. So, they all came after me, and I just laid into them. And now the game's doing something weird. They were trying to gas the crap out of me, too. Love the BAR. But, yeah, and on a technical note, I've literally just got a brand new computer finally that was shipped to me. I haven't been without my own personal computer for like 2.5 months, ever since I got back from Florida. For those that have been watching most of these videos kind of in order to somewhat degree, yeah, I got more coming, so hey, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.